Colorado's changing seasons is one of the best parts of living in this beautiful state, as every season brings with it new and beautiful things to do all around the state. If you're planning to visit Colorado and not sure what time of year to come, or where to go when you visit, I thought I'd make this video which highlights my favorite places to visit for every season in Colorado. Starting with the season for which Colorado is probably most famous, winter in Colorado means that the Rockies are covered in a beautiful blanket of white snow. All that snow has made Colorado one of the premier winter sports destinations in the world, with world-class ski areas and beautiful mountain towns to visit. My suggestion for any visitor in the winter is to plan to spend their time in Summit County, which is about 50 miles west of Denver on I-70. Summit County encompasses the majority of Colorado's best ski towns, which include Vail, Breckenridge, Keystone, and Copper Mountain, all of which are less than 45 minutes from each other. While there may be other parts of Colorado which I consider to be more beautiful in winter, I think Summit County really is the best option for any out-of-state visitor, as there are numerous great towns to choose from to visit, each with their own unique charm. Vail is great for those wanting to replicate a European ski town, Breckenridge has a lot of Colorado character, and the smaller mountains like Keystone or Copper make great places for beginners to be able to learn. That said, ski lifts are outrageously expensive these days, so if you're looking to save some money, I always recommend renting a pair of snowshoes and hitting the trails rather than the slopes. My favorite snowshoeing trail in Summit County is Mayflower Gulch, as it's got a great ghost town to explore at the base of its imposing granite peaks. There are tons of great ways to enjoy the winter snow in Summit County. Just be prepared for crowds and traffic on the weekends, especially if you are planning to catch a flight back on Saturday or Sunday. A drive back to the city that normally takes an hour can take upwards of 3 to 4 hours during peak traffic on weekend afternoons. But even if you're caught sitting in traffic, you might get lucky and see one of my favorite parts of winter in Colorado, a beautiful pink and purple sunset which we only get in winter. Spring is probably the most overlooked season of the year in Colorado, as our high altitude climate means that our spring is incredibly short and often involves lots of bad weather. That being said, if you find yourself in Colorado from mid-April to June, I think the best place to spend some time in is the Denver metro area. Despite being the capital and largest city in Colorado, a lot of tourists overlook the city of Denver in favor of the incredible natural beauty of the Rocky Mountains. The problem is that in the spring, most of the mountain ski resorts are closed and the trails are still too muddy from snowmelt to be good for hiking or biking. I think that Denver is the best place to visit in the spring, as the city really does come alive, especially when the vibrant crabapple blossoms all over the city start to bloom. Civic Center Park in Denver is a great place to see spring blooms, as well as to explore the treasures of downtown Denver, like the Denver Art Museum, Colorado History Museum, and explore the State Capitol building. Another great place for spring blooms will be places like the University of Denver campus or the many parks throughout the city. One thing to keep in mind about visiting Denver in the spring is that bad weather I mentioned earlier. March and April are actually the city's snowiest months, and so seeing spring blossoms or blooms can sometimes be hard if there's a snowstorm. Don't let that discourage you though. More than likely you'll find some spring beauties somewhere in the city. If you're able to get out of downtown and explore, I highly recommend going up to the city of Boulder, northwest of Denver, as they have an amazing spring tulip display on the Pearl Street Mall. Or take a drive on the Crabapple route in Littleton for miles of blossom-lined roads and paths to be able to explore. Spring really is the most colorful time of year to visit Denver, and those few who choose to come during our most underrated season will be rewarded with a great time in the Mile High City. In summer, the best place to visit is the small mountain town of Crested, Butte. Tucked away in the central mountains of Colorado, Crested Butte is an incredibly charming former mining town turned into a mountain resort that still retains its quaint small town charm. In the summer, Mount Crested Butte becomes a mountain biking and hiking mecca. But for me, it's the dazzling wildflowers that carpet the hillsides which make Crested Butte so special. Abundant winter snowfall and wide, fertile alpine valleys have created the unique ecosystem in Crested Butte that allows for dozens of varieties of wildflowers to thrive in. The wildflowers of Crested Butte grow in numbers and to sizes unlike anywhere else in Colorado, perhaps the entire world. Beautiful alpine sunflowers, purple lupine, and even Colorado's state flower, an orchid called a columbine, all grow in dazzling displays. I recently posted a video about the best wildflower hikes in Crested Butte, which I'll link in a box on your screen. I also love hiking to the summit of Mount Crested Butte, where you get an incredible 360-degree view of the surrounding peaks and valleys. I think that Crested Butte is the perfect summer destination that highlights all the best parts of the Rocky Mountains in the summer, especially during wildflower season, which will run from late June until early August. Crested Butte is nicknamed Paradise in the Mountains, and you'll certainly see why after spending some time there in the summer. And I've saved my personal favorite season for last. I think that Colorado is one of the best places for fall in the entire world, with so many incredible autumn destinations. But the one that sticks out for me is the southern Colorado town of Telluride. Telluride is one of the most beautiful places in all of Colorado at any time of year, but it's in the fall when it really shines, as the beautiful San Juan Mountains surrounding the town will be draped in technicolor displays of aspen trees changing color. One of the best ways to see the fall color in Telluride is by taking the free gondola which connects the town of Telluride with the mountain village. The scenic ride gives you breathtaking views of the entire box canyon which the town sits in, and allows you to get up high for many different spectacular fall hikes. But despite how beautiful it is, don't limit yourself to just Telluride. Follow the spectacular San Juan Skyway all around the southwest part of the state to get some of the best fall foliage that you'll ever see. The Skyway loops throughout the entire area with particularly beautiful stops in places like the Dallas Divide or Red Mountain Pass. Small towns like Silverton or Ouray make for great stops or places to stay in the area as well, making this entire part of Colorado easily the most incredible place to visit in the fall. And with that, I've now given you my suggestions for the best Colorado destinations for every season. I absolutely love my home state and hope that you'll have the chance to come see the incredible places I mentioned in every season here. I also make tons of other Colorado and travel-focused content on my channel, so if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll give it a like and also subscribe so you don't miss any other of my tips and suggestions. Happy trails, everyone!